Hello and welcome back to my dear listeners. This is your host Sharmishta, ready to come with me to the mysterious palace of Vishalgarh to know what happens to Binoy. I am a prisoner. Yes, you heard me right. And this is the truth. When it had been time for me to leave the palace, I had gone downstairs to the main door and found it locked from the outside. I had searched the entire palace for any other exit, but had found none. And not only that, the palace was full of rooms on the first floor, but each of them were locked. There was no one around either. The entire palace interiors stood silent, dark, terrifying, like an ancient curse. I had no choice. I would have to return to my room. On the way back, I saw another room, and the door to this one was open. I was curious. Upon walking in, I saw that it was a library. Rows and rows of books all around. It was fascinating and mind-boggling. Books in all languages, Indian and foreign. I was still looking around, fascinated, when I heard a slight sound behind me. It was Raja Bahadur. He was dressed in black clothes. I observed his features. Fair complexioned he was, but the fairness was more like a marble white, cold and lifeless, as if there was no blood inside that body. And his black clothes seemed to enhance that even more. Binoy Babu, I have sent my representative to your office. He will complete all the formalities on my behalf regarding the purchase of that property. Very well, Raja Bahadur. Now that this is done, it's time I took your leave. I must return to Kolkata. So soon, Binoy Babu? Yes, I'm a salaried employee, and I was supposed to have completed my work and left today. It's nearly evening. If I don't attend office tomorrow, it will create a problem with my bosses. No, Binoy Babu, that cannot be. You are a very nice man, and I shall be delighted if you allow me to host you for a few more days. Please? I hope you will not refuse. I looked at the king for a few moments, then nodded slowly. All right, so be it. I will stay on for a few more days. Wonderful, Binoy Babu. And I see you have stepped into my library. Please do feel free to use it whenever you want. But do not try to enter any other room here. This palace is very old, and hidden here are many ancient secrets. Those secrets do not give any joy. They bring terror. If you cross your limits here, you are at peril. And those perils will be beyond your imagination. The king's voice suddenly trailed off. He seemed to be listening to something far away. I saw him walking towards the window and peering into the darkness outside. I wondered what he was listening to so keenly. I tried listening too. And then I heard, searing through the deathly silence, came the sounds of jackals howling. Faint, far away. The king turned to me, his eyes glittering. Ah, listen to those sounds, Binoy Babu. Oh, the music those checkals make, how wonderful is the melody. I stared at the king. I found no melody in those blood-curdling howls. They were absolutely unnerving. The king laughed. I understand, Binoy Babu, I understand. You people live in cities, do not have the heart of a hunter. The pleasure we derive here listening to these wild sounds. I will be back soon. Saying thus, Raja Bahadur walked out of the room. I stood there for a while, my senses still numb. I couldn't comprehend what was going on, and I needed to get out of this room. The walls seemed to be closing in. I hurried out and found a staircase leading to the 3rd floor. It took me to the terrace. The door to the terrace was thankfully ajar, and I stepped into the open space beyond. And what a relief! I breathed in the air deeply, trying to control my jarring nerves. A while later, I felt much calmer. I looked around. The dark silhouette of the mountains in the distance, the tall trees of the jungle, and the dark, boundless skies. A sudden movement attracted my attention, and what I saw left me horrified. Raja Bahadur was scaling the straight high walls of the palace, on his hands and feet like an animal. How easily he was moving upwards, like a giant bat surging ahead. I rubbed my eyes. Who was he? Man? Animal? A tap on my shoulders made me whirl around. Raja Bahadur stood there. Raja Bahadur? You are here? Yes, Binay Babu, where else would I be? But why do you ask? I thought I just saw you on the palace walls. I was what, Binay Babu? Nothing, Raja Bahadur. The jungles. The darkness plays tricks on you. Come, let us go back inside. There is an old adage, seeing is believing. But for Bino, he is caught in a labyrinth where what he sees has become unbelievable. The palace of Vishalgarh, a hellhole of terror, which doesn't seem to let up. Raja Bahadur, a man or... Let's find out when I return soon with the next episode. Till then,